Yummy. Yummy.
Common Good TV show. The Common Good TV show. Brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. Highlighting the good in the community. Hosted by Pastor John McLean. Tucson's favorite family show. The Common Good Radio Show. The Common Good Radio Show. Brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. Highlighting the good in the community. Hosted by Pastor John McLean. Tucson's favorite family show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I am Pastor John McLean, your commandeer of this show today. Happy to have you here. Happy to commandeer you. I don't know if that's a good thing, but we'll go on. This would not be the Common Good Radio Show if I did not give thanks to a very loving Father who makes it so we all can be here and can enjoy the blessings that we have in our lives. And I usually do that with the Lord's Prayer that goes a little something like this. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass and get against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. And that being said, as I mentioned, we have amazing guest today. We always do. And the first guest we have here in studio today, I was lucky enough to be introduced to her by the guy who helped me start this Common Good Radio Show, Mr. Andreas Ruiz. And I'm guessing they kind of just bumped into each other around and kind of in the networking community because they're both just powerhouses at the time. And she's just an adamant volunteer at different nonprofits, and she's just adamantly involved in the community in so many different ways. So I probably couldn't put my finger on it. I'm sure when I bring her on, she'll know exactly where she met Andreas. But nonetheless, he introduced her to us in the show. We had her on the show, and she talked about the amazing work that she was doing at the time. And it was just, you'll see what I'm talking about when I say it, but she's one of the most impressive people that I've ever met. And following her on Facebook and getting to know her story and getting to see just the work that she does constantly. Just when I think that she's reached some plateau of greatness, she steps up to a new plateau. So I say all that not to make her head get too big and float away, but because I really mean it. So thank you, Diana Charbonneau, for joining us in studio.
I appreciate it. Love being back, John.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess you fill us in on, who is Diana and what are some of the nonprofits that you're part of? What's some of this work that I see? Like, I mean, I feel like if I were to read off your bio or your resume, that would be the whole segment. So give us the nutshell.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it does get long. I don't like hearing it read out loud, honestly. Yeah. I am a native Tucsonan. Mm-hmm. I love Tucson. I went to college in D.C., and that's actually where I first volunteered, ironically. But when I came home, I just got involved. I started volunteering places and never stopped, is how I like to say it. So some of the organizations I'm involved with now, I volunteered with over 24 organizations in town in the last 10 years easily. But
that
right
makes
now,
me tired just hearing you say that.
Well, it was before I had a child,
okay.
I will say.
Okay.
But it really has filled my cup in a way that I didn't expect it. Especially, one of the organizations I sit on the board as past president of is the AAW Tucson, which is all about gender equity for women and closing the gender wage gap. So I've been able to facilitate some salary negotiation curriculum to over 600 people in our community in the last 2 years, just since I've done it. And that's a really big thing. When we were talking about volunteering, it's a drop in the pool. But when you know that you got somebody a job and they were able to negotiate and they have a better future ahead of them, it just makes me smile. And I that's what I really love to do. So that's one of the organizations. And then another that I know you're familiar with is 100 Plus Women Who Care Tucson, which has, I mean, exponentially grew. I've always said I want to retire in my 50s a millionaire so that I can just volunteer and give back. And that's what I think of with 100 Plus Women Who Care. It's a group of women whose exponential give power. We just gave $63,000 to Phones Down Just Drive at our last give. That's we meet once a quarter. And so that's
which is one that actually JD in studio, he introduced me to Phones Down Just Drive. So this is a funny kind of coincidence that you're in studio. But yeah, to the point of 100 Plus Women Who Care, I'm the chairman of the ambassador committee and the 100 Plus Guys Who Give. So we'll be doing an event together in July, which I'm just so excited for in so many ways. One, because you guys are kind of like our big sister, and so in this project, because it's a 100 Plus Women Who Care was created before the 100 Plus Guys and Give, and I think the inspiration for it. And like you're saying, I mean, I guess let's speak to kind of that growth of the 100 Plus Women Who Care since you've been part of it. What has it gone from to what is it now? And what are some of the gives that you guys have been able to do in that time?
Sure. So it started out at just over 100 women when it was first founded 5 years ago, and we are now over 600 women. That's how we're able to give over $63,000 at every give. And actually at our upcoming give, we are going to start splitting the remainder of what's over that to the other two nonprofits who pitch. So all three nonprofits.
That's so cool.
If you're not familiar, we get together, we choose three nonprofits from a bowl that were nominated by our members, and then at the end of the night they pitched for 5 minutes. We asked questions for 5 minutes, and one of them will walk away with over $60,000.
That's awesome.
That's life-changing for these organizations, especially with so many in our community.
So what are some of the upcoming events that you have in your wheelhouse of nonprofit work that you do?
Yeah, well, thank you for mentioning the 100 Plus Women and 100 Guys Who Give collaboration. That is coming up on, I believe it is July 16th.
Okay.
July 18th. Thursday, 18th. July 18th at 5:30 at the West End.
I'm glad you knew because I did it.
Had to write it down. And also there is the 100 Plus Teens Who Care as well for anybody who's listening. I really love Lily and the group that started that. I just love seeing our community give back. This weekend is Juneteenth. For anybody who isn't familiar, that's going to be held at Keno Park on Saturday. They have everything from shopping, entertainment, a car show, a kids zone, free toys, proudly sponsored by TEB.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely.
And there is a big blood drive going on next Friday for anybody who might not know. Team Lizzie Bell, a local nonprofit who helps kids in the hospital receiving treatments. They give them toys. They are partnering up with the American Red Cross and doing a big blood drive with some local businesses. Thank you for supporting that. Yeah. We have a huge need for platelets and blood. Some of the things with over 25,000 nonprofits in the area, where do you figure out where you want to give, right? And so I like to just be able to show that. And
so for you, like, what does being involved mean? Like, particularly, I think John Q. Public, let's just say I am him, a coincidence, my name's John, listening that want to be involved, but they don't feel like they have the time or the energy or the ambition or the skill set like yourself to be a superhero, but express to them how they can and know where that starting point is.
Yeah, I honestly think starting small is the way to go. Finding something you are passionate about, something that'll really, you'll show up, or even just sharing a Facebook post. You never know what somebody and your friends might see something. In fact, that's just what happened. We did a birthday fundraiser for the HOW Project, which helps people coming from incarceration reintegrate with the community. And I said, hey, what do you guys need? They said, we need dressers. And so we set up a little thing, and we have dressers going to them, donated or ordering on Amazon. We raised over $500 on that Facebook birthday
That's
post.
Interesting. Another connection. I love Danny.
Yeah. For sure. And, that's something small but very big. Those dollars are real to them. These people are going to have a dresser to put their things in. And as we've always said, give your time, talent, or treasure. I'm a public speaker, so I give my time emceeing. I was the keynote speaker for YWCA. So if you're a lawyer, we have Southern Arizona Legal Aid. We have multiple different opportunities. And even my very first nonprofit introduction was Tunaditu, something I'm really passionate about for children and families who have lost a family member to death or have been diagnosed with a serious disease, and I used to just sign up for a shift and show up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd go and set up tables for a couple of hours. They'd have an event and I'd help them take it down. So there really is something for everybody. And I run the Tucson Gives to Nonprofit Facebook page.
Okay.
So if anybody listening wants to go on and look for some, we have everything from kids opportunities. Tucson Family Volunteers is a nonprofit specifically that sets up volunteer opportunities for children or under 15, which is really hard to find. I know a lot of parents are like, I want my kids volunteering this summer, but where? So that's a good place to find it. Just so many great places. I'm happy to help you if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn.
Yeah. Oh, so that was going to be the next question is, for people that want to connect with you, what would be the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, if you're on LinkedIn, Diana Charbonneau, or that Tucson Gives to Nonprofits Facebook page. I am on Instagram. I think it's DC Tucson. However you want to connect with me, I'm sure you can find me through your site as well. And
yeah.
I appreciate all you do with Tucson Veteran Rescue as well. We couldn't do it without you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Diana. Well, that's Diana Charbonneau with, technically with TEP.
Yeah.
but also just one of the many pillars in our community. I feel blessed to have her in my sphere of friends. So thank you for joining us, Diana.
Thanks for having me, John.
Yeah. This is the Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I am Pastor John McClain. As always, we want to thank our sponsors, Proper Villains for Tucson, Center for Self-Care, We Care Tucson, 100 Plus Guys Who Give, Tucson Tamale Company, Desert Sunset Realty, White Stallion Ranch, Bukowski Law Firm, Tucson Tool Shop, Tucson Business Networking. Roofs are really hot. The Guys Next Door Radio Show brought to you by Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, Always Faithful Home Inspection, Levity Wellness Center, Crest Insurance, Tucson Pack and Ship, and Comfort Care. We'll have all that and more after the break. And remember, at the end of every day, it's night.
The Common Good Radio Show.